Hello everyone, welcome to session 31 of Theory of Computation or Formal Languages and Automata Theory. In today's session, we are going to discuss the equivalence of context-free grammar and push-down automata. That means we will learn how to convert the given context-free grammar into push-down automata and vice versa. So these are the subject of our discussion in this session. So let me start with the equivalence of push-down automata and context-free grammar. So here, if you look at this slide, it is saying that if L is a language which is generated by a context-free grammar G, so consider that you are having a context-free grammar G, and from that context-free grammar we can able to generate a language L. Then uh, this same L can be accepted by pushdown automata by empty store. Okay, so what it means, if you are having a context free grammar capital G and L is a language which is generated from that grammar, then the same language can be accepted by a pushdown automata PDA by empty stack. Okay, so what it means, for every context free language that is generated by a context free grammar, there exists a its equivalent pushdown automata with empty store. Empty store means it is empty stack. Okay, and that pushdown automata with empty stack can be converted into the pushdown automata with a final state. Okay, so if you see here this diagram, so it is saying that a context free grammar can be converted into a pushdown automata with empty stack, and then pushdown automata with empty stack can be converted into pushdown automata by final state, right? So as in the previous sessions I explained that there are two ways to construct the pushdown automata. One is by using empty stack, that means language acceptance by empty stack, and second one is language acceptance by final state, right? And we have seen both the approaches for the construction of pushdown automata based on the given language properties, right? So here if you see, context free grammar can be converted into a pushdown automata with empty store, and furthermore this pushdown automata with empty store can be converted into a PDA with final state. Okay, and same, we are having the reverse process in which a pushdown automata uh, with final state can be converted into pushdown automata with empty store, and this pushdown automata with empty store can be converted into its equivalent context free grammar, right? So in this equivalence of PDA and CFG, we are going to discuss this conversion. That means how to convert a CFG, into pushdown automata, So the pushdown automata that we will going to get here is a PDA with empty store, right? And then we will learn how to convert the pushdown automata into its equivalent context-free grammar. So these two topics comes under the equivalence of PDA and CFG. Okay, so we are going to learn these two techniques. Okay. Next one. So let us discuss the first technique, converting CFG to PDA. So here we are going to convert the given context-free grammar into the pushdown automata. Okay. So before going to discuss this overall process, let me give one example here. Generally, a given context-free grammar capital G. For that given context-free grammar capital G, we can convert or we can construct its equivalent pushdown automata that simulates the leftmost derivation of G. Okay, so generally, if G is a context-free grammar, okay, for that context-free grammar capital G, we can able to construct the pushdown automata that simulates the leftmost derivation of G. Okay, so to justify this statement, let me take one grammar here. Let me consider one grammar. E denotes E plus E, E plus E or ID. Okay, so this is the grammar I am having. This is the context free grammar, right? So now Generally, already we know that there is a process called derivation. So derivation is nothing but the sequence of substitution that we apply to obtain the string, right? So let me say I want to derive the string id plus id. Okay, so id plus id. So in order to derive this, I have to apply the derivation. So I am taking the leftmost derivation. So e derives. So we'll start with the starting symbol. E derives e plus e. Okay, and next one, leftmost non-terminal is replaced by its definition. So what is the leftmost non-terminal? E. So it is going to be replaced with its definition. So id plus e. Okay, and then id is a terminal, so we do not replace it. Then plus, it is a terminal, so we could not replace it. And this e is replaced with id. Okay, so leftmost e that we are having is last e, and it is going to replace with id. So now we could able to generate the given input string id plus id by applying the derivation, right? So the derivation which we have applied here is the leftmost derivation, right? Now to justify this, I am going to process this string w by using the push down automata, right? So let me consider the string I am having is id plus id. Okay, so as we know that this id plus id is stored in the input tape, right? Push down automata is having an input tape, and we are having a finite control id plus id. Okay, and then stack we are having, right? So for that particular grammar, if we are implementing the pushdown automata, means it is simulating the leftmost derivation, right? So this is the input, first input that I am reading here is id, right? So initially we will put the start symbol of the grammar into the stack. So what is the start symbol of the grammar here? E. So that E will be pushed onto the stack. Okay, so that is the step one generally. So in order to simulate this leftmost derivation by using the PDA, what we are doing is that we are storing the given input W into the input tape, and we are starting up with the start symbol of the grammar by pushing it onto the stack, right? Now what we will do, we will take the input symbol and compare it with the stack, top of the stack. So top of the stack. So here if you observe, input is id and top of the stack is capital E. So id is a terminal and capital E is a variable. So we could not make a comparison, right? So what we will do here is that whenever we have the non-terminal on the top of the stack or variable on the top of the stack, we will pop that variable and push its definition into the stack, right? So if you observe, to derive this id plus id, what we have done is that we have taken the start symbol e and we replace this e with e plus e, right? So what we have done here, capital E is replaced with e plus e, right? The same thing here we are doing. So we started with the start symbol. Okay, we pushed it onto the stack and we compared that top of the stack with the id. Since id is a terminal and this is the top of the stack is a variable, so we could not able to compare. So what we are doing is that we are popping the e and we are inserting its definition into the stack. So what is its definition? E plus e. So e plus e. Okay, e plus e, right? Done. This is step 2. Okay, then next what we are doing here is that again this id is compared with top of the stack. Okay, again capital E is a variable, so what we will do, we could not compare these two, so we have to pop E and insert its definition into the stack or push its definition into the stack, right? So what is, how we replace this E? If you observe the derivation, leftmost derivation, what we have done, this e, leftmost e was replaced by id. So same thing, we are going to pop this e and instead of that e we are going to push id onto the stack, right? So the stack content will become e plus id, e plus id, that is step 3. Okay, now this is the thing. Now we compare this id with this id. Okay, since id is top of the stack, it is terminal, and the input is id, it is also a terminal, so both are matching. So pop the id. Okay, pop the id. So the id, when you pop, the stack content will become e plus. Okay, since the top of the stack and input are matched and we pop the stack. Now advance the input pointer. Advance the input pointer. Now the input is pointing to plus. Input is pointing to plus. Now top of the stack is plus. Top of the stack is plus. So both are matching, right? So when this is the case, pop the stack. So pop the stack. Okay, and then move the input pointer ahead. So the next input is ID. So next input is compared with the top of the stack, right? So now what is the top of the stack? E. So ID and top of the stack is E. So we could not compare these two. So what we will do? We have to replace that E with its definition. So what we will do? We will replace that E with its definition. That means we are going to push ID onto the stack by popping E, right? Now compare the input ID with the top of the stack. What is that? ID. So ID is matching with the ID on the stack. So pop the stack. So the moment when you pop the stack, you are not going to have anything. And if you move the input pointer, it moves beyond the last ID. So we are, which indicating that we have completed the processing of the input, right? So when the input processing is completed and if the stack becomes empty, then we can say that the string is accepted. Okay, the string is accepted. So uh, for a given context free grammar, what we have done here is that we implemented the push down automata, right? So that means this, if you observe this push down automata, it is simply simulating the leftmost derivation that we have applied, isn't it? So that is the point here, right? So this explanation you can't get it from the textbook. So this is the justification. So try to note it down, right? So given a context-free grammar G, we can construct a pushdown automata that simulates the leftmost derivation of G. So we have seen this, how this pushdown automata is simulating the leftmost derivation, right? So in the pushdown automata, how the string is going to be processed means initially the input symbol is compared with the top of the stack. If the top of the stack is matching with the input symbol, then we pop the stack and advance the input pointer. Okay, that is the case 1. Case 2 is that if the input is not matching with the variable that we are having on the top of the stack, if the input symbol is not matching with the top of the stack, assume that top of the stack is variable here, right? So what we will do, we have to pop that variable immediately and we have to push its definition onto the stack. Okay, and then we will make a comparison. Okay, so this is how we are going to process a given input string uh, with the pushdown automata, right? So the same point is explained here in this paragraph. So just let me go through it once. Consider the left sentential form x a alpha, right? So already you know that we are in derivation, we are going to have the sentential form and sentence, right? So if you observe this leftmost derivation, statement 1, statement 2 are the sentential forms and statement 3, that is id plus id, is the sentence, right? So consider we are having left sentential form x a alpha with a on top of the stack. So here we are saying that we are having a sentential form x a alpha and capital A is on the top of the stack. Okay, is present on the top of the stack. Okay, also consider that x is processed. So here we are saying that x is already processed, right? And remaining input is y. So the remaining input that we need to process is y. Okay, so consider that we are having the input form like xy. Okay, xy. So let me write w is equal to xy. So here what we are writing, that consider that the input is x, it is already processed, and the remaining input that is to be processed is y. Okay, now assume that you are having a instantaneous description. Okay, so consider that you are having a pushdown automata with this configuration, right? So you are in state q comma, what is the rest of the input that we have to process? Y. So q comma y comma, then what is the stack content that we are having? So we are saying that a is on the top of the stack, right? So after a, what is we are having? Alpha. So definitely a alpha will be the stack content. right? So generally we are saying that x a alpha, right? It is a sentential form. X a alpha. It is a sentential form, right? And we are saying that a is on the top of the stack. So a is on the top of the stack means below it we are going to have an alpha, isn't it? So we are writing that id as we are in some state q and the input that is to be processed is y and the stack content is a alpha, right? So it is representing a left sentential form of x a alpha. So it is representing the left sentential form that x is processed and the remaining we have to process is a alpha. Okay, so that is the thing. So if you see here stack, if you are having stack content E plus E means what it means? E plus E means what it means? These are the symbols that we have to process, right? After popping E, what will happen? You're going to insert ID. Okay. So when that top of the stack is ID and the input is ID, what we are doing, we are popping out the stack, right? So what is the remaining content in the stack plus E? Okay. So like that. So here it is ID q comma y comma a alpha is representing a left sentential form x a alpha. Okay. If there is a production, A denotes beta. So consider that A is a variable and it is having a production, A denotes beta. Then, then the move of PDA is to replace capital A on the top of the stack by beta, right? So just now I mentioned that whenever we have a variable on the top of the stack, and if that variable is having that production, then what we will do? We will pop that variable from the stack and push its production into the stack, right? So here if you observe what we have done is that E is a variable and it was on the top of the stack, so we popped E and pushed its definition E plus E into the stack, right? So same thing, since A is a variable here on the top of the stack, we have to pop that variable and push its definition beta onto the stack. Okay, the moment when you do this, then it is entering into the configuration like q comma y comma beta alpha, right? So before that we had a alpha here. So a is a variable, so we popped a from the stack and we pushed beta. So now the stack content will become beta alpha. Okay, so this is the process that we followed for showing the acceptance of string with respect to the push down automata, right? So note that there is only one state q for this PDA. Okay, so here this PDA, whatever the resultant PDA that you are considering, consider that it is having only one state q. Okay, now if beta alpha represents terminal strings that matches the input, okay, then the stack is popped. So what it is saying, if the symbols in the stack matches with respect to the input symbols, then what we will do, we have to pop the stack, right? So if you consider this example, in this, whenever the input ID is matched with the ID on the stack, so both are same, so what we have done, we popped ID from the stack and we advance as the input pointer, right? So this process is continued until there is no input to process and stack becomes empty. So when the stack becomes empty, the given input W is said to be accepted by empty stack. Okay, so I have explained this entire paragraph through this example. E denotes E plus E or ID, and by taking a string W is equal to ID plus ID. Okay, so the concept is very simple, right? So if you are having a input symbol, if you are having an input symbol, if that input symbol is matching with the top of the stack, then we have to pop the stack, and advance the input pointer, right? If the second case is that if the input symbol is there and top of the stack is a variable, so we could not compare both of them. So what we have to do is that we have to pop v, that means we have to pop that variable from the stack and push its definition into the stack. Okay, so this process is continued until the entire input is processed. Okay, after processing the input, if you get an empty stack, then the string is said to be accepted. Okay, next one. So here, this is the technique that we use for converting the CFG into the push down automata. So we have to apply the two rules, which are very simple. So consider that we are having a grammar G is equal to V comma T comma P comma S, which is a context free grammar. Then we can construct a push down automata capital M that accepts L of G by empty stack, right? So here we are saying that G is a grammar, context free grammar, and the language which is generated by that grammar is L of G. The same L of G can be accepted by push down automata M. Okay, so that is the meaning. Okay, so that is the equivalence between context free grammar and push down automata, right? So from a grammar you can able to generate a language, and that language can be accepted by a push down automata by empty stack. Okay, now how do we represent the push down automata with empty stack in a form of tuples? See here. So as I mentioned that when you convert the CFG into push down automata, when you convert the CFG into push down automata, the resultant push down automata is going to have only one state. Okay, it is only going to have only one state. So that's why the capital Q becomes set of small q. Okay, so this, what is the first tuple? It is capital Q, right? So here what is our capital Q becomes? It is become set of small q, because small q is only state that we are going to have in the resultant push down automata. Okay, comma, this is called as we can call it as T. T is nothing but we are going to have set of terminals. Okay, then this we could assume it as something like sigma. Okay, okay, sigma, because the string consisting of terminals, right? And whatever the terminals that we are going to have in the grammar, that will become our input symbols, right? That will become your input symbol. So the terminals are nothing but it is our alphabet set. Okay, our alphabet set. Now next one is tau. Tau is nothing but stack symbol. So stack symbol consisting of variables as well as terminals, right? So if you see in this example, capital E is a variable, right? Later on you replace this E with E plus E, right? So E is a variable, plus E is a terminal, E is a variable, right? Then furthermore this E was replaced by ID. So ID is a terminal, plus E is a terminal, E is a variable, right? So these are the symbols that we are inserting or pushing into the stack. So these symbols are, these all symbols are the stack symbols, right? So that's why we are saying that V union T will become our stack symbol tau, set of stack symbol tau. Okay, then we are going to have the transition function delta, which is same, and next we are going to have this uh, q comma s. Okay, yes, we know that it is a we can call it as a start symbol, right? Right. So next thing is that here uh, this why we consider yes means here yes is the symbol which we are going to insert into the stack, right? So generally in the push down automata we represent the bottom of stack with z naught, right, or z. But here in this push down automata, what you are going to insert initially into the stack, start symbol of the grammar, right? So if you observe the previous example here, in this stack what we have inserted first, what we pushed first, we pushed the start symbol of the grammar. What was the start symbol there? E. So we pushed that start symbol capital E onto the stack, right? So the stack symbol consisting of yes. Okay, so this is called as initial stack symbol, which we are representing it with capital yes. Okay, and next if you consider the final state, it will be the same, right? Q, because you are having only one state, so the final state will become that same state, right? So here, since we are constructing the push down automata with the empty stack, so we don't have the final state, so this attribute could become 5. Okay, this attribute could become 5 because we are not going to have the final states, because we are not going to have the final state, right? So this is the tuple representation of resultant push down automata. Okay, So the state is going to have small q, set of small q will become capital Q, set of that means all the terminal symbols which are there in the grammar, those terminal symbols, if you write in a set, it gives the alphabet set sigma, and then combination of all variables along with the terminals will give the stack symbol, set of stack symbols tau. Delta is a transition function which we see how to write it for the push down automata. Then final state, since here we are not going to have the final state, we have to set that final state attribute to phi. Okay, and next one, we are having yes. Yes is nothing but start symbol. So the grammar start symbol will be initially pushed into the stack. Okay, so that's why z0 or z will become here yes. Okay, now here we will see how to write the transition function delta. Okay, right. So here we are having the two rules. One rule is for the variable and another rule is for the terminals. Okay. So we are going to have the two rules. One rule is for the variable and another rule is for the terminal symbol, right? So how do we write? So see here, whenever we have the variable, for each variable we have to write the transition function like this. Delta of q, so q is the state in the resultant pushdown automata, comma epsilon, the consider that there is nothing to process, that is epsilon, comma, and the top of the stack is a, right, and the top of the stack is capital A. So whenever we have the top of the stack capital A, what we are going to do, we have to replace this A with its definition, right? So here we are considering the A production like A denotes beta, right? So just now I explained. So whenever we get a variable onto the top of the stack, we are going to replace with its definition. That means we have to pop A and push its definition beta onto the stack. Okay. So what will happen? You have to write delta of q comma epsilon comma capital A is equal to set of what is the resultant state? Q comma q comma, now what is the stack content will become? It become beta. That means we have replaced this A with its definition beta. Okay, such that A denotes beta is a production of P. Okay, so if we are going to have the multiple production, means you have to write multiple production, multiple moves, transition moves here. So to demonstrate this, let me take one example. Let me say I am having the production capital A denotes small a, and capital A denotes let me talk A capital B. Okay, so see here, these are the two variables that we I am having. So here uh, how do we write? So variable A, so we are writing the transition function for variable A. So since the resultant PDI is having only one state q, so you have to write q comma, what is the input that we are processing? Epsilon. So since we are at that particular point of time we are not processing any input, so we are writing it as epsilon, and definitely stack content is going to have A onto the top of the stack. So let assume that you are having A onto the top of the stack. Then what we will do, so whenever we process epsilon in q and top of the stack is A, we will be in the same state q. Okay, and that capital A is replaced by its definition. So if you observe, A is having two definitions, right? So A denotes a small a and A denotes a small ab, capital B, right? So we have to generate the possibilities here. So first replace A and substitute first definition onto the stack. So what you will get? Q comma small a. So this is one combination. Comma, another combination is that you can replace capital A and push the another its definition small a capital B onto the stack. So you are going to get another combination small q comma small a b capital B onto the stack. Okay, so this is how we could write the product transition functions, right? So what it means, whenever we get capital A onto the top of the stack, we can replace capital A with either its small a as a definition, or we could either replace capital A with its another definition small a capital B. So that's why we got this two two possibilities, right? Then next, for terminal, how do we write? So already we know that whenever the input symbol matches the top of the stack, what we will do? We will pop the stack, right? The same thing here, delta of q. Suppose you are in state q, input is small a and top of the stack is also small a. That means both the terminals are same. So in this case, what we will do? We will be in same state q, comma, what we are going to push? We are not going to push anything. So that's why q comma epsilon. Okay, so this operation is indicating the pop operation and this operation is indicating the push operation simply. Okay, understood? Understood. So based on this, we have to write down the production rules. Like, so construct the push down automata equivalent to the following grammar. So this is the given grammar. S denotes small a, capital A, capital A. Capital A denotes small a, capital S, or small b, capital S, or small a. Okay. Now, so first thing, here we should know that the grammar must be in GNF, right? So to convert this CFG into the PDA, one point that we have to remember that the grammar must be in GNF. Okay, must be in GNF. For that possibility only, we could able to generate the push down automata. Okay, the given grammar should be in GNF. Okay, so already we know that the GNF form, right? So a terminal followed by any variables or a terminal. Okay, so capital A denotes small a followed by any variables, or capital A denotes small a. Okay, so these are the form which we have already discussed, right? Now, so since the given context free grammar is already in GNF, now we have to write the rule. Okay, so first thing, what are the variables that we are having in a grammar? We are going to have two variables, S and capital A, right? S and capital A, right? So for each variable, we have to write down this first rule, right? We have to write down this rule. Okay, how we are writing? First, I am writing for S. Okay, so how do we write? Delta of, okay, we are in state Q, comma, input is epsilon, comma, variable is S. Okay, so top of the stack is S. So if the top of the stack is S, means we have to replace this S with its definition. So check the production rule of S. So this is the production rule. What we are having in the right hand side, that must be pushed onto the stack. So it will become set of, what is the resultant state? The state will remain same, comma, this S is replaced with its definition. What is the definition? Small a, capital A, capital A. That's it. Do you have any more productions of S so that we can push those possibilities onto the stack? No. So this is one combination. Done. Next we have to write for capital A. How do we write? Delta of Q comma epsilon comma capital A is equal to, now for A we are going to have three choices, right? So we have to substitute each possibility to obtain one combination. So let me say we will be in same state Q and we can substitute, that means we can replace capital A with one of the possibilities like AS, A capital S, comma, next possibility is that you will be in same state Q, you can replace capital A with BS, B capital S, next, comma, another possibility is that you will be in same state Q and replace capital A with small a. Okay, that's it. So three choices we are having. So we are pushing each choice to obtain one combination. Okay, done. So for two variables we have done. Now for each variable we have to write down the production transition function. So if you observe this production rule, what are the terminals that we are having? Small a and small b. Okay, so these are only the terminals that are possible, right? So for the terminals, how do we write? Delta of state q, if the input is a and top of the stack is also a, then you will be in same state q and we are not going to push anything. That means the stack is popped. Okay, this is one way. Another one is that we are having another terminal delta of small b, q comma small b comma small b is equal to, we are going to get same state q, and we are not going to push anything, so epsilon q comma epsilon. Okay, so see here we have written the same delta of q comma epsilon comma s is equal to q comma small a capital A delta of small q comma epsilon comma capital A, these three possibilities. Okay, and next for each terminal we are going to have delta of q comma small a is equal to q comma epsilon, and one more you have to write for b also, which I have missed. So delta of, just try to insert this also in your material, b comma b is going to give q comma epsilon. Okay, now, so if you write it in a tuple notation, you are going to get capital M is equal to, since we are going to have only one state, it will become capital Q. Okay, next we are going to have a combination of A's and B's, so you are going to get A comma B, A comma B. Okay, the T will become A comma B. Next, this one, here we are going to have what we are going to push, small a comma small b comma capital A comma capital S, we have to push. Okay, then transition function delta, just now we defined. Then we are going to have this yes, yes is nothing but the start symbol. So what is the start symbol given in the grammar? Yes, so this will be your uh, what we can call it as stack symbol, initial stack symbol, and final set will become 5. Okay, okay, 5. So this is how we could represent this in a tuple notation. Okay, so this is nothing but sigma. Okay, this is nothing but tau. Okay, next construct the pushdown automata for the grammar given here. S denotes small a capital A, capital A denotes small a or capital small a or small b. S denotes small a, capital A denotes small a or small b. So for each variable we have to write like this, delta of q comma epsilon comma capital S will gives the state q comma, and this S is replaced by its definition, so small a comma capital A. Okay, and next possibility for the next variable is q comma epsilon comma capital A, where you will get the same state q. A can be replaced with either small a comma q comma small b. Okay, okay. That's why we got these two, and we are having two terminals, so for each terminal we have to write delta of q comma small a will give q comma epsilon, and next terminal is b, so you could write q comma b equal to q comma epsilon. Okay, so this is how we can write uh, the transition function. Okay, and then we can define like m is equal to, so capital Q is nothing but, here we are going to have only the set small q. Okay, sigma is equal to, we are going to have a comma b, set of a comma b. Tau we are going to have, so all the grammar symbols we can push it, so that's why it is a combination of variables and terminals. Yes, comma a, so this will become tau. Okay, and next transition function delta, that we have already written, we have already defined here. Next main thing is that final state, so we are not going to have any final state, so phi. Okay, and here in this case what will be the z naught or z, so what is the start symbol in the grammar? Yes, so that will become yours. Okay, this is how we can write. Okay, and then rest of the thing is same. If you consider the starting state q naught, it is same q, it will be q. So in all the cases the starting state will be the same, right? So if you observe the tuple notation, it could be same, right? So this is the starting state, q is the starting state, only one starting state that we are going to have. Okay, so here also we are going to have the starting state as q. Okay, so q comma 5 comma yes. Okay, you could write. Okay, so this is how we can represent the push down automata for the given context free grammar. Okay, in the next session we will discuss how to convert the given push down automata to context free grammar. So generally we are going to have the 5 rules for converting this given push down automata into context free grammar, so which we will discuss in the next session. So just try to practice these problems, okay, once. Try to understand this algorithm. If you get any doubts, just notify me once. I will address all those queries in the next coming session. Okay. Thank you for attending this session.